evening, good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Homie Picks. It is me, Jared, Lou, and Ben. Fellas, thank you again for your time, and thank you for holding it down last week on my bye week. Y'all seem to have fun. I was happy to see y'all rocking and rolling.
We always got to make it a good time, right? That's what it's all about.
I mean, it was definitely a good time for Ben, not so much Lou. Lou,
2 weeks in a row.
I mean, Lou's looking like me out here.
It was bad. It was bad.
He's trying to make up for you. He was like, you know what? Let me help Jared out.
That's what happens when I host. All
right. So now we know. Now we know. It's the jinx of that. Ben was, king of the week. So these picks are Ben's suggestions. Ben's lucky number 5, and hopefully he can make y'all some money. Hopefully he can help y'all cash in some things. But we are all here for entertainment purposes, and also just to see if we're also right on our predictions. Right. Ben was 3-2, Lou 1-4. I was off. But let's see what happens this week. We're not going to touch tonight's Pittsburgh and Minnesota game. Even though I think most of these games lately now are going to be more toss-ups anyway. Pittsburgh, we all thought was be dead in the water. And then they beat my team. But that always seems to happen every time Pittsburgh and Baltimore play. It's always tight as hell. But those two teams are kind of trailing. We don't care about those. We're going to the 1:00 game on Sunday, which I feel like even this should be more of a night game, but who am I to say that? Raiders, Chiefs. Chiefs are an 8.5-point favorite. Vegas is a plus 330. Something's got to give here. Blue, what you thinking?
I don't know. See, these 1:00 games for the West Coast teams always scare me. You never know who's going to show up. But I'm gonna rock with the Chiefs on this one, just on the strength that it's an interdivisional game. They need this. They need to start climbing that ladder in the conference, and this is probably one of the games that gets them going. But yeah, I'm definitely taking them. They had a subpar, below average game on Monday night. A little weak effort on their part, so I'm expecting a big time come up this week.
Yeah, Ben.
Yeah, this one is tough for me. If we were playing the points, I'd play the points and take the Raiders. I think it'll be a close game. I don't think they're gonna blow them out. I wouldn't be shocked if the Raiders pull off the win, but KC's defense has been playing much better for the past, 7-8 games or so. So even though Mahomes hasn't been himself, I mean, his mechanics seem a little off. I'm gonna rock with the Chiefs. I think they pull off the win. It gives them I believe it'll get them closer to the 1 seed in the AFC. So yeah, I'll take the Chiefs in this one. I just don't think LA is gonna be Vegas there's gonna be able to keep up with them. Just because eventually they're gonna put up just enough points. That's what they've been doing. They still, even though they're struggling, they're still putting up like 30 points a game. So I think KC wins. But yeah, like I said, points, Vegas.
Yeah, same for me. And if it was a points thing, I could definitely see Vegas doing that one. KC lately has been playing better football. Offensively, not as efficient as before, but defensively they stepped up, and I've always criticized. Every time I picked against them, it's always because of their defense. And they've actually been playing a lot better on that side of the ball. And I think for KC, it's just the right time, it's the right time in the season to get hot. They started off terribly, and they're picking up steam, and that might not be good for anybody else in the AFC. But it's a tightly contested AFC West. All those teams are kind of bunched up there, except for Denver. Denver kind of took that L last week. But I'm as much as I want to go Raiders, I'm seeing Chiefs taking this one.
Yeah.
Like I really want to see Carr do this, but at the same time, I just think KC is going a little too hot right now. And although this like how Baltimore and Pittsburgh always seem to have those tough matchups, the same thing for Raiders and Chiefs. And you know, they're not scared, so I could definitely see it. I can even see a quote unquote upset, but I just think the Chiefs probably gonna pull this one out, maybe like a 5-point game. It's gonna be something kind of weird like that. But speaking of the team that Pittsburgh beat last week, Baltimore, my team, going for another divisional game as the NFL decided to pack almost all of our divisional games in 1 month. We're going to Cleveland, where we squeaked out with a win a couple weeks ago against Myles Garrett and crew. This time going into Cleveland. Cleveland is the 2.5-point favorite. Baltimore is plus 118. I guess kind of saw that coming after last week's debacle, but also because of no Marlon Humphrey. Ben, how you thinking it's going to go?
I hate to tell you this one, but I like the Browns here. I think the Browns win this one. I originally thought they were going to lose the first game and win the second game. But the addition to the loss to the defense with Humphreys, which is what really has been keeping them in a lot of games, the defense, because Lamar's games have been up and down this year too. So yeah, I mean, he has some good halves, like, and some really bad halves. So it all depends on which half you're gonna get. But I feel like the Browns are gonna run the ball, try and keep them off the field. I like the Browns in this one.
Look,
I gotta agree with Ben on this one. Baltimore has multiple chances this season to separate themselves in the division and in that conference. They had a lot of WTF moments, like what the hell's going on? And I think Cleveland has a better running team than Baltimore does, even with Lamar Jackson. I think this is a big game for Nick Chubb. I think Kareem Hunt might be back this game. Baker just has to manage this game. We don't need him to be superstar Baker. Manage the game, let the defense play, and I see Nick Chubb over 100 yards easy in this game. And I think Cleveland winning by field goal.
You know, I was actually going to go Cleveland too, but because
not anymore.
but because y'all two went that way, I feel like I got to give my boys somewhat of a chance here. Damn it. Yeah, you know, like my biggest flaw with our cornerbacks is Averett, and it's been Averett basically all season. Like I've had an issue with his cornerback play, and I wish I could have two Marlon Humphreys on the same team, but I really can't. It now is going to be looking like the Marcus Peters injury is going to be is more hurtful for us now. Now that we lost both of our starting cornerbacks. But even with injuries, you know, we still seem the next man up syndrome really has worked out well. Baker really just hasn't shown much lately to me that screams bloody murder. Now
I don't know.
Now Njoku on Cleveland is pretty sound. And I know Landry's a monster there too. I just think, you know, we'll have to do a lot of defensive schemes, and I know Wink Martindale is going to cook up some kind of strategy that's going to go on. But it's going to be a tough one. I mean, all our divisional games is going to be tough. Honestly, I think this game is going to tell me enough for the rest of the season. and we have a hell of a game week after that against Green Bay. So, you know, we're gonna need to finish up this whole rest of the season strong, no matter who's on the field or not. We were the number 1 seed going into last week's game. Now the Patriots are. We still have a hold on our division. So I think somehow, some way we power out a 3-point win. That's just how I'm hoping to see it. That's how I think it's going to go down. Moving on to the next one. Now we're going to the NFC lose division. But it's not the Giants we're going for. It's going to be the 2 other teams that he can't stand. The Cowgirls and the football team, who still have no name.
Crazy.
Get creative, Washington. Get creative.
They can't. Someone bought all the patents. They can't.
Those damn politicians. Man. It's those politicians. Man.
No, some regular dude.
Oh, you know what? I mean, we'll figure something out, man.
He bought all the names that they were thinking of and patent every single one of them. Held them hostage.
That's why you can't let nobody know what you're going to do, man. You got to call the Washington Essentials, you know, or the Washington Sour Powers. Something. Yeah. Dallas is a 4-point favorite. Washington is a plus 160. Washington, I mean, to y'all credit, y'all did pick Washington to beat the Raiders last week. Can they make this 2 good wins in a row? I think they can. Actually, I know you can't. I know we had a rule. You can't trust Kirk Cousins 2 weeks in a row. I think we might have to go the same route for Heineke, but I'm feeling kind of Heineken about this one. You know, if I had one, I would drink it. You know, I think he can do this. Like Dallas really hasn't impressed me too much. And I know as the season gets late, Dallas does tend to like have some backpedaling moments. They're one of those hot and cold teams lately as well. I think Ron Rivera leaps and bounds is a better coach than anybody on Dallas. And I just think, you know, this is going to be a pivotal match into who takes over the NFC East. I honestly don't sleep, but the Giants ain't too far behind that either. You know, and who would have thought all of this would have happened like last year? Last year, this was the total laughing stock. But you know, the three out of the 4 teams have been showing out. You know, doing pretty well. And anything compared to last year was way better. But you know, I think Washington's going to pull this one out. I think defensively they can slow down Dallas's stars. But Lou, what you think?
All right, so Washington has beat Brady, Seattle, the Raiders. I think, see, the same fear you have in Kirk Cousins, I don't see that with Heineke.
Okay.
I think this guy's been big time when he needs to be big time. I think by next year, he needs more offensive weapons around him. The defense is pretty solid. They lost Chase Young, which sucks for the year. I think Heineke pulls this one out. I really see him pulling it out. You know, they're at home. This game can push them into the playoff race, and it's head to head. It's head to head against someone in your division that you're trying to catch. Dallas is too good on paper for the production we see on the field. They got potential 3 Pro Bowl receivers out there. I honestly think Tony Pollard should be starting above Zeke Elliott because Tony Pollard has been playing out of his mind right now. But I think Washington wins this at home. I'm going to say by a touchdown.
What say you, Ben?
I was going to be with you guys. I was going to pick Washington, but I believe Montez Sweat's going to be out in this one. because of COVID. I think he's in the COVID protocol, so he might miss 10 days. So he might miss a week. Another game here. So I'm not too confident with the defense this time around. They've had a lot of big wins of late. Washington has. I like what they're doing right now. But the Cowboys, they can't score, and I just don't feel like they're not going to be able to score forever for the rest of the season. So I don't know. I feel like Dallas wins this one probably by a field goal. It's not going to be a high scoring game, but I think Dallas just has just a little bit more offensive weapons than the football team does. Yeah, it's going to be close, but I think Dallas pulls it off.
Yeah, it can go either way. That's for sure. And don't sleep on Washington, people. Like, you know, like they came alive late. You know?
Yeah.
Heineke is balling right now.
He's
beat
doing it.
Carr, Russell.
And yeah,
he's right off a nice list.
Yeah, I just
and
feel like
Brady.
it's a
And
good
Brady.
spot for a letdown. It's a good spot for a letdown because I don't know. I just feel like I think they're gonna let this one slip by.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the Cowboys, but I for some reason I don't know. Sometimes the way Ron Rivera calls the run game, sometimes they have a really good back in Antonio Gibson, and sometimes I just feel he's like underutilized. So
I can see Washington winning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 out of the next 5 games, and it's all within the division.
Yeah. So
They play Cowboys, Eagles, and then the Giants.
I think they're gonna split with them. To be quite honest, I think this is just the one they lose.
Well, we'll see what happens on Sunday, but also that same day, this was tough. It was actually a good pick, Ben. San Fran versus Cincinnati. You have San Fran, who y'all picked to win last week, but you know,
yeah, Russell Wilson.
But that damn Russell Wilson over there.
I should have known better. That team.
Like, I should have known better because for some reason Russell Wilson always beats the Niners.
Always.
Word on the street.
He's like Reggie for the Knicks. No matter what kind of team he came, he comes in there and he busted your ass. Like
it's like he was struggling. Niners came. I'm good. It's like, what? No.
Look, I mean, you know, I mean, but word on the street was Russell and DK heard y'all call them the Sea Pups, and they weren't happy about that. So, you know, they came to play. San Fran is going into Cincinnati, but San Fran is a 1.5 point favorite. Since he's a plus 108. Wow, that's actually pretty tight. But Lou, how you think it's going to fall out?
Yeah, man, this is one of those Vegas pick your poison kind of games. Like how you want to die by the sword or the shield. I'm gonna go with, since he has a bounce back game. I think the game they had against the Chargers was a fluke. I don't think we saw the real Cincy in that team. I think Joe Burrow's pinky is hurting more than he's letting on. That interception by who was it? The Chargers over Jamar Chase. Yeah, that was woo. We will never ever see that again in the NFL. But I think Joe Burrow puts his name in the hat for one of those elite quarterbacks. I think he doesn't get enough appreciation. He has a decent O-line. He has a pretty much all-pro wide receiver. He has Joe Mixon's playing out of his mind this year. Yeah. And the Niners, man, I think this is the game when the Niners finally throwing the towel. Like it's just wrap it up and let's get ready for next season. For the Niners, I'm gonna take Cincinnati on this one. I think it's gonna be a tough match. They're gonna go blow for blow, but I think Cincinnati's gonna win it out at home.
Yeah. You know, I'm gonna let Ben go last on the next one since that's his. He is king of the week. Let him have final word next one. But do I go for the division rival, or do I go for the team that's going to help me extend a lead over? These are the questions.
Pick your poison, bro.
But I have the answer. Jamar Chase is going to do this one. I'm sorry. San Francisco's defense isn't going to handle Jamar Chase and company. Mixon, everybody, we talk about Chase, but Mixon is a monster too. And I remember, there were the talk of him being too small, he's just a speedster and so forth. This dude is bruising too now. He's older, he's wiser in the game, he's asserting himself. And I think that helps Burrow out even more. San Fran does have a really good pass rush. Anytime Bosa's on the field, that is a nightmare, regardless of anything. He just goes one speed and one speed only. But I think Cincinnati has enough to hold down the side offensively. Defensively, I think Debo is still out, if I'm not mistaken.
They better hope he's out because not for nothing, but since these defensive backs are small as hell.
Yeah. I think if Debo's still out, you still have Ayuk, I believe, is still playing. Kittle was Kittle.
Yeah.
Kittle was Kittle, no matter what. Kittle was Kittle.
I don't think he has anybody they can put on him to match up wise.
Yeah. But the only problem is Garoppolo. I think Kittle's Kittle, but Garoppolo could be Garoppolo. So it could go either way. And especially coming to Cincinnati from over, from over yonder. I just see Cincinnati pulling this one out. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to anybody who's a Niner fan. We know one, but
we know of one.
We know of one.
We know of one.
But I just can't see that one going. Ben?
Yeah, this is a tough pick. I would like to believe that Cincinnati bounces back, and I would hate to say I want to pick the Niners again after they burned me, but I think the Niners is the pick here. I'm not 100% sold on Burrow's finger, and I actually disagree with you, Lou. I think Cincinnati's line is trash. They can't stop nobody. That's why Burrow runs around a lot. He gets hit a lot, and San Francisco has a pass rush, a legit pass rush. I think it's going to cause them some trouble. They're going to try and run the ball to get away from that, but I think the defense is going to keep the Niners in there, and they have a good running game, and they just need Garoppolo to do just enough. He just has to manage the game. He doesn't have to carry the team. I think the Niners, win this one. They're still relatively close. If they lose this one, their season is done, but I don't know. I think they're gonna play hard. I think the Niners win this game. Like I said, I'm just not 100% sold on how Joe Burrow is gonna be throwing the ball. Once we see him play and whatever, we see that's gonna affect him. But it affected him in the game he was playing. So I'm gonna take the Niners.
And last but not least, actually, Ben, if you want to introduce the game to us, this is the final pick of the week.
Which one's this one?
LA.
What kind of game would we pick last? Yes, so the last game that we're going to be covering here is the LA Rams playing the Arizona Cardinals. The LA Rams are the 2.5 point favorite. Underdogs here. Arizona is the 2.5 point favorites. So, fellas, let's start with Lou here. What are you thinking?
This one scares me. Kyler Murray proved he was healthy last week. Like, my God, you blinked and that game was over in the first quarter. Like, you went to the toilet and came back and you must have thought you got lost in there. I'm gonna go though. I'm gonna go extra on this one. I'm gonna pick the LA Rams on this one.
Ooh, bold.
Monday night game. I'm hoping Stafford comes up big in this game. Lights are bright. It has to be better than last Monday night's game. Holy snacks. That game was horrible to watch. But yeah, I'm picking the Rams in this one. I think Cooper Kupp just dominates. OBJ's having a resurgence. I think he dominates. And I think Stafford puts his team on his back and gets, rights his ship. This is a big game for them. This is their mini Super Bowl. You're knocking off the team in front of you. So I'm expecting a heavy hitter fight. But I'm gonna go with the LA Rams.
All right.
Yeah.
Jared.
You know, it's tough. Yeah, this is a tough one. I think due to Arizona still having some injury issues,
Say it.
I just can't trust Stafford, man. Like, damn it, bro. Like, I can't trust this man. Like, I don't care who's on this team, man. Like, this man sometimes think he's still in Detroit.
You still got the Detroit Blues? You got the Detroit Blues?
Got the Detroit. My man still got some wine in his heart, man. I don't know. But
I think it's safe to admit that, as dysfunctional as the Lions were, maybe Matt had a little bit of a hand in there too.
I guess, but like I haven't really and maybe like the experiment of having three elite defenders, it started to come to fruition, with Donald, Miller, and Ramsey. But I mean, I think Kyler and Company is going to take this one. It's going to be a tight one, though. I think Kyler and Company take this one. Even with the injuries and so forth, it's a big game. Arizona both teams know what's up for grabs for this one. I think winner definitely holds down that number one seed, or goes to the number one seed. I know Green Bay's still in the hunt for that too, but I think the winner of this game is going to be the one seed, but I think it's going to go to Arizona.
Yeah, I'm with you in this one. I'm not 100% sold on Matt Stafford myself. There's some games that he looks great, and then there's just some games you like, is that Jared Goff back there again, or what? They basically traded up for like maybe 2+ games. Like, it's really, there's some throws that he makes, and he's more athletic and whatnot. He's a little bit more talented, but they essentially got the same guy. I mean, he's still mistake prone. Sometimes he throws it when he shouldn't throw it. I think Zona's defense is gonna get to him. I mean, you get him some pressure, I think he's gonna have a little bit of a hard time. Kyler's back. I think another game is gonna make him, knock the rust off a little bit further. So I think he's gonna play better, and D-Hop's gonna feel a little bit better himself. So I think this is Zona's game to win. I know LA. I just don't see LA the way they've been struggling with. I mean, they lost basically all of November. So I don't know. I like it, Zona, on this myself.
And one thing for Zona, they gotta come with everything they got, because the Rams gonna be hot on their tail for that, because that loss they got, the way the Rams lost that first one, they're gonna come with some fire. So Cardinals gonna need to match that kind of intensity. And I think they can, especially being at home. They've shown even when Kyler went down, they were still a pretty good team stout, with injuries and so forth. So I think this is the Cardinals' moment to shine. And you don't see Matt Stafford in many big games like this, so how many big games do you really have as a Detroit Lion? So
He had some big games. He went to a playoff game and lost. I mean, a couple of times.
Lost.
He hasn't stepped up in a big game either, per se. And look, he's had talent around him. It's not that you
Mhm.
can blame, oh, they had no running game or they didn't have a good receiver or something. I
Mhm.
mean, he had some stuff, and even a year they played moderate
And they
to good
still
defense, and they found a way to lose. I
exactly.
mean, at one point you got to put
Ain't worried about
some
it.
blame on him.
Exactly. Ain't worried about it. But another, we're not going to cover this one, but another good game, hopefully another good game would be Buffalo and Tampa Bay. I remember last week y'all talked about, and we're going to actually put a poll up for this one, but I remember y'all talking about MVPs and so forth. Honestly, I think Tom Brady's going to be MVP. I know y'all say, this is just Tom being Tom, but at 94 years old, this man is still leading the league in yards and touchdowns.
Yards and touchdowns.
That's pretty fucking impressive at that age.
It is.
Like you can go the freaking Joe Namath route and just not be that good anymore, or you can be Tom freaking Brady. Like this is kind of an admiration. Like, and then mind you, he's doing this. He's gonna have to do most of these things without Antonio Brown. And I actually want to get y'all take on that, because that is one of the most interesting stories that's kind of going on. Is Antonio Brown had a fake Vax card. And here's what makes the story even more weird. So he has a 3-game suspension for having a fake Vax card. Mind you, as everybody knows, NFL players are not required to be vaccinated. But yet you still had a fake Vax card for reasons that I can't think of. You live in Florida. Clearly, they don't give a shit about. To most Floridians, Florida, I mean, COVID didn't exist at all in Florida. People just died for just natural causes, apparently. But you had a fake Vax card, and then you said, I actually got vaccinated, which makes this even more weird. How do you have a fake Vax? I mean, granted, so you got the fake Vax card when you weren't vaccinated, only to then be vaccinated, but then still falsify records. If that was the case, there was no point in having a fake Vax card to begin with. So I know a lot of I've heard a lot of front office people have complained that 3 games was not enough. And we've had people who said I'm immunized, catch COVID and miss a game. Now we have people who have fake Vax cards. It's one thing if you were like a Kyrie Irving or Devin Booker or Bradley Beal, where you have to go into certain cities, January 15th, Toronto, especially. You have to be vaccinated or you cannot play. You can't even enter the country at that point. But it's one thing if you were required to be vaccinated and you weren't. What was the hell? Is this just Antonio Brown being Antonio Brown? Do you think that he should have got more games? Or do you think he shouldn't have got suspended at all, being that he is vaccinated? Like, what is your thoughts? Ben, what's your thought on the situation?
I haven't read up too much about it. Like, I didn't know that if he was vaccinated or not. I just heard about the card and the whole nonsense. To be quite honest, like, if they would have suspended him, just even a game, I would have been fine with it. Like, I get it, he broke the protocols, and I get why they suspended him and they didn't suspend Favre, because technically the Packers knew that Favre wasn't vaccinated, and the NFL knew
Aaron Rodgers.
I'm sorry, Aaron Rodgers wasn't.
Throw Rogan.
Right. That they knew that he wasn't vaccinated. So it wasn't that he was saying to the league, yes, I am vaccinated. Like in this case, Antonio saying I'm vaccinated by presenting a vax card. But I mean, 3 games is fine. I don't see the point of doing more. I mean, it's not, nothing crazy. I mean, it is what it is. People try and do those things, but to suspend them more than 3 games, I think it was probably too much, but that's just me.
I don't understand receivers. I will never, ever fully understand the diva mentality of receivers. Like, not for nothing. They say, you know, NBA players are divas, baseball players are prima donnas, but god damn receivers, you know. Like, do they all take a special class on how to fuck up their life when you become a receiver? Because all you had to do is just, first of all, who you hanging out with that's snitching on you?
Well, he didn't pay the man, apparently. That's what it was. See,
Yeah.
pay your bills, pay bills. Lesson of the day, pay your bills. You're gonna do shady stuff, pay your bills.
Yeah. Like,
Word to the
like,
wise.
I don't get it. Like, one, you have arguably the GOAT tap you like, I need this guy. Like, he not saved you. He saved you them twice now, twice, maybe 3 times now. You got a ring for this man. Like, his one words to you is probably "Don't fuck this up." And you turn around like, "All right, I'm fuck this up now. Let me go fuck this up." Yeah, it's a stupid reason. Again, like you said, they weren't required to be vaccinated. They just had to follow their stupid mandates. Like, there was no reason for it. Like, it's like when I tell my sons that they do dumb shit for dumb reasons. This is one of those. Like, don't do dumb shit for dumb reasons. Like, do dumb shit for good reasons. Like, hey, you know, I stood out late because I was hanging out with this girl. All right, cool. Dumb shit, but good reason. You know. But yeah, it's just stupid on his part. Like, you rocking with Tom Brady, you protected, bro. You protected. You could have went to Tom like, "Hey, Tom, can I get a Vax card?" And Tom would be like, "Let me call my guy." Like, been that simple. You know what I'm saying? But again, you got athletes that try to outthink the system and want to be too far ahead of it. And, you know, it goes back, like we said earlier in homie picks, when these athletes get caught doing stuff they're not supposed to be doing, like driving drunk. And, you know, they got numbers in their phone to help a brother out. Like, I wish I had the Rolodex they had. Like, I could pick up the phone and them say, like, "Hey, yo, I need a car to come pick me up because I just don't feel like driving." Like, come on. Dumb stuff like that. So, to round it off, it's just stupid. Like, grow the hell up. You're a grown ass man. Stick to making your music videos, catching 5 passes for negative 15 yards and winning another ring. Like, come on, like, just show up. Like, all he really has to do is show up, and he can't even get that right without fucking it up. So, shout out to all you diva receivers that, like, I don't know how your mama deal with y'all. Like,
yeah, you know, apparently, you know, so, you know, it's Antonio, it's Buccaneers, DB Mike Edwards, and then there was a free agent who was on the practice team, John Franklin III, all Bucks players, all done, and this is literally all to supersede NFL protocols, which aren't that difficult. let's get this 100% correct. It's not that difficult. Like, you act like you're being highly persecuted and so forth. All you gotta do is wear a mask in the meeting room.
Yeah, just separate. Yeah,
that's it.
In the receivers room, because you got the quarterbacks in one spot, linebackers in another spot, running backs over here, fucking receivers.
That's it. Like, you know, it's asinine. Again, if you were doing this to try to play in a location that you cannot play in, although I would still say it's dumb because you can. Granted, they're lucky they're not treated like normal human beings like us,
right?
Because us with fake vax cards, that's a governmental issue.
Yep.
And that's more than just government fines. That's potential
federal
jail
time. Federal
time. Fed time.
Yeah, yeah, we do fed time.
So
they get a fine.
Yeah.
they
may
get
fined by the NFL. they get protected. So
yeah,
the logic behind that is just so freaking dumb. If the Oakland Raiders were still in Oakland and they wanted to go across town to San Francisco, I can see that. I don't agree with it, but I can see that. If they wanted to go into if they wanted to play in New York, or if the 2 New York teams actually played in New York, well, the 2 of the 3 New York teams actually played in New York City, you know, I can see them doing some dumb shit like that because they want to play at home games. But this is not the case. Like, this is just straight stupid. And then the fact that you got a fake vax card in the summer, I forget who it was, but it was somebody on the Buccaneers staff who got them the cards, only to then get vaccinated later. And I don't care for Edwards, he's irrelevant. The free agent guy, he's irrelevant too. Antonio Brown, you're a key part into this offense. Yeah. You're a key. You're up there with the Leonard Fournettes and the Mike Evans. You are in Gronkowski's. You matter. Like, you really matter in this whole situation. To get vaccinated and then still, and at that point I was like, what was the whole point of even presenting the vax card to the NFL if you're gonna do it? Or
no sense, man.
Because you can't say, hey, here's my vax card, and then later on get a new vax, then actually get an official vax card and then have 2 different dates on it, because then they're gonna be like, so what's this? So what was this one? Like, was this real or was this not real? So, it's ridiculous. And I hope all athletes, especially, I agree to what you say, Lou, they're divas and they need to take note. If anybody needs to, just take note. You had 2 very different examples. You had Aaron Rodgers' way of going about it. Now you have Antonio Brown's way of going about it. Clearly,
which one got suspended? Which one got suspended?
So that's message. But you clearly know there's no way around trying to hide the truth. And if you're an NFL player, just stop being dumb.
Mama said you can't fix stupid.
Mama did say that you can't fix stupid. You do stupid things, you win stupid prizes. Antonio Brown, you have 1 to 3 game suspension. Like, subscribe, comment, share. December, I believe 25th or 24th. I think it is Christmas. There is a John Madden special that I'm interested in seeing. We'll talk more about that next week. Until then, and like, subscribe, share, comment, watch Pittsburgh and Vikings beat each other to death. Hopefully Pittsburgh has another tie. And we'll come back hit you with another Only Picks for week 15. Damn, this season's wrapping up fast.
Bing bong.
Yeah.